Okay, so let's continue with our Python coding exercise series. So just a second. Yeah. So we will see the next problem. So open the leetcode.com and go to the problem section. And in the search question number 3084, hit enter. So we have the question count substring and it's the medium category. So it's like a easy question. So count substring starting and ending with given character. Right? So we need to count the number of substring, right? So the output should be some kind of integer. And what all substring we need to be count, which should start and end with some given character. So you are given a string s, so we have some string s given. So if you see the function count substrings, we have some string is given s and a character is given c. Return the number of substring of s so that the start and end with c. Okay, as an example, so we have the string a b a d a. We have the character a, right? So we need to count all the substring which start with a and end with a. So what all or the substrings? So one option is like you can find all the substrings, right? You can create a set and then you can run a for loop on that. So what all the substrings? So a is one of the substring, b is one of the substring, c is like again a is one of the substring, d is one of the substring, a is one of the substring, right? So another substrings are AB, another substring are ABA, another substring are ABAD, another substring are ABAA, right? But what we need to find, we need to find those substrings. So there could be so many substrings, right? So but we need to find those substrings which start and end with letter A. So what are all the substrings? One is A, this one, right? See, only single character because substring can be of length one as well, right? And the another is ABA, right? Another is ABDA, right? So these are three. And now if we come with a B, so this is not starting with A. Now we come with A. So this is starting with A. So A is single individual A. Then is AD a substring? No. So ADA is a substring, right? So two more. So 3 plus 2, 5. Then we run our for loop next. So now it's D. So we are not going to consider because we need to take the substring which is going to start with the letter A. So this is going to be letter start A. So A is one of the substrings. So total number of substring are 6. So second example, Z, Z, Z. Right. So we need to find a total number of substring which start with letter Z and end with letter Z. So one are the individual substring Z, Z, Z. So one are the individual substring. So 3Z. Right. And then you can see Z, Z is one pair. Right. And then Z, Z, Z is another pair. Right. And then first this Z, Z is one pair and this Z, Z is one pair. Then second Z and third Z is also one pair, right? So total there are six substring, right? But how to calculate that? So manually we have like calculated this like using the code, how we can do that. So let's see the same example again, right? So how we are doing this? So we have like this substring a b a d a. So what we have to do is we have to run some for loop, right? So we have this string s, we have to run some for loop. So we are going to from start with a and we'll go to end. And as soon as we found our letter A, right? So we found letter A. So individual is also a substring, right? As soon as we found letter A, so this is also our substring. So we will take some like our count variable and we will add some like uh, uh, a number or integer plus one, right? So we will increment that because we found letter A. So when we are running a loop and we found the particular character equal to our given character, equal to our given character, we are going to increment that. Then we will go to next B. Then we will go to A, right? So then we go to A. So if we go to A, so this is also individual character, right? We are going to add that one as well. But this ABA also a one of the substring. So how we are going to know this AB is also the one string? One thing is that you can run like a nested for loop, which we are not going to do. One thing is that because it doesn't matter like how many number of characters exist in between these two elements. The only thing matters is we have this A here, right? So how many A's are behind this A, right? So how many A's are behind this A? We have one A. So this A can be attached only one more time, right? So A is this one single, and how many A's are behind this A? So we have A one more. Then D, we will ignore this. Then A, we found A. So for this A, we will increment our count by one. And but this A like can combine with how many A's? Right? So it can combine with this A and it can combine with this A as well. So whatever the number of previous A, whatever the number of previous A, it can combine with those. So if we count total, so 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, so total is 6. So answer is still 6, right? And if we took the another example, Z, Z, Z. So we are going to run some for loop. So here we will come Z. So for Z, we will like increment our counter to 1. Okay. Now we will go to, so for this Z, do we have any previous Z? No. Right, so we don't have the previous Z. Now we will come to this, so this Z. So for this Z, so for this individual, we increment our Z. Then we will check, okay, how many we have the previous Z. So we have the one previous Z. So we will count that as well. And then we will come to this Z. So for this Z, we have one element. We are going to increment our output result, and then we will check how many previous Z. So we have the two previous Z, right? Then we are going to add 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2. So total 2, 3. So total we have the got the 6 answer. So total we got the 6 answer. So it's still same. It's still same. So let's run a logic. Let's run the code in the like a Python. So what we need to do? We need to run a for loop over the over our string. So for character in S. So we are going to run a for loop. Okay. Then we are going to check whether the particular character is equal to the given character. So if ch is the character which we pick from our string as equal to c is our given character, c is our given character. If this is equal to that, then we need to increment our variable, right? So increment our result variable. So we can took our uh, total count 0. All right, so we can take our total. So we are going to increment our total count. The total count is equal to total count plus 1. So we increment our total count, right? We increment our. Along with that, we need to add something here, because if you see, we are adding something here, right? We are adding something here. So to make a generic solution, we have to add something here. But we are adding here, whatever the number of previous A. So what are the number of previous A? We don't have the previous A. So let's take that the previous count is equal to 0. So we are going to add the previous count as well. Okay. So for this A, let me rub again. All right. So for this A, so we are currently here. So for this A, there should be only one string, right? So there should be only one string. So till now our output is only one, because total count is 0. Then we added one and we don't have the previous. So this A, if we only have this string, how many number of substring which start with A and which end with A? Only one, right? So we did that. Now we are going to go to next loop B. So we go to next loop. So if character is equal to our B, no. If character is equal to our A, so B is equal to A, no. So it is going to be skipped. Then our pointer will go here. So A. So is A is equal to our character, whatever the character is given. So yes. So our character is given as A. So now this A is equal to this A. Now what we have to do? We have to add one more one. We have to add one more one to the previous count. To the previous count. All right. So because we already have the total count 1. Now we are going to whatever the total count in previous condition. Now we are adding one more. One more. Plus we need to add how many previous number of A come. But we are not storing this. So that's why when we come here, when we start at this loop, and before going to the next loop, just store, okay, we have seen one A. So previous count is equal to previous count plus 1. Right, so just or instead of doing this, just do in one line. Right, so previous count is equal to previous count plus 1 and then return total count. So now when we reach here, one second. So when we reach here, this A. So when we reach this A, so we add one. So we add one. So we add one, right? And then before going to the B, we said okay, till now we see only one A. So till now we see only one A. Then we go to B. So B is not equal to our initial character. So the given character. So we are not going to go into the if loop. Then we go to A. So for this A, we added one. We added one. Now we have to add something else, but we have to add whatever the previous number of character. So previous count is already one, so we added this. Now previous count also going to increase, so previous count we are increasing by one, because till now we have this A and this A, 2A, right? Because that is going to be added here, like here. So because when we reach here, so for this A we are going to add one, so we added this one for this A, and then we have to add how many number of previous A. So we have the two previous A, and then we will get the total output. So let's try to run this. So our sample test case has been accepted. So let's try to submit to test if all the test case has been passed. So our all the test case has been passed. All right. So that is like one solution. And along with that, there is some mathematical formula as well. So if you scroll down, we have some hints are given. So if you click on this hint, they said count the number of characters C in string S, then let's call it M. So so this is one of the method, right? So, and what is the another method? So they said count the number of characters C. So in this string, let's count the number of character A. So and store it to M. So they said, okay, M in this string C dot count, but we S dot count, but we need to count the number of character C. So we are going to get, okay. Now they said, now they said you just do M star M plus 1 by 2. So they said just return M star M plus 1 by 2. And let's run that. Uh, okay, so we are getting in float. So instead of this, we are going to do the float division, or maybe you can convert it to integer, because our output should be integer, not a float. Now let's try to submit this. All right. So that if you see like now the memory is still same, because in the previous case as well we are not using the memory, but now it's beating like more people, like the performance is going to be increases, because now we are not running some for loop. Now we are not doing some kind of if condition. It is a straightforward mathematical, like just plus minus, and which is like fast as compared to running for loop checking if condition, right? But how this formula is going to be derived? So how this formula is going to be derived? So one option is, you could say, because we need to, so for individual a, whatever the number of a, that should be the minimum number of count, right? Because this has 3a, then the answer should be more than 3, right? So this has 3z, so answer should be more than 3. If let's suppose if I have to count z, how many z in this string a b a d a. So we first I will count, okay, how many z's are there in this. So I don't have any z. So if even I don't have any single z, then how can create a pair? So I can't create a pair. So that's why they are calculating, okay, how many number of particular c in the particular string. So that is the minimum solution which we can get, right? And then what they are doing is, so let's suppose you have to create a string, right? So you have to create a string. So we have to create a string which start with letter C, or you can say in this case we start with letter A and end with letter A, and end with letter A, right? So A and A. So now you can like So we have two places, one place this, one place this, and we have three option A. So first this A can become here, and this A can become here, right? Then this A can become here, and this A can become here, and this A can become here. So there could be like a multiple operation. There could be multiple permutation and combination approach. But if you just directly apply the like permutation and combination formula, that is not going to be work, and that is like going to give some error, because sometimes it is going to generate negative number. So that for those cases it is going to be fail. But this formula is like if you see sum of n number 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus up to n. So how we can n star n plus 1 by 2, right? So this formula, how this formula is going to be derived? So this formula is going to be derived from this logic, right? And from where this logic is going to become. So what I believe is how this logic is going to become is, so 1 second. So for this z, for this z there is only one. For this z there is only one. For this z there is only one. Like for individual it's one. But for this z, how many previous how many previous string? So zero, right? And for this z, one. So for this z, how many previous? Two, which we already cover. Like for this a, how many previous? Zero. So for this a, how many previous? One. For this a, for this one, how many previous? Two. Then for the next one a, the previous is three. And then we are adding everything, right? So zero plus one plus 2. But if we only add this 1 plus 2, 0, 1 plus 2, then we will get only 2 plus 1, 3. But we have to add 1 plus 1 plus 1 as well, right? So 3 as well. So that's why we are going to start 1 plus 2 plus 3. So total we are getting. So that's why this formula is going to become. But maybe like, because when you are like doing the actual question, this formula straightforward not come into the mind. So the best approach is this solution. Okay, we will come here, right? We will at least this count will become here. So we are going to take this into the picture, and then we will go here. For this we have added one, but how many number of a previous come? So we have add that as well. So that is like a more feasible, and there are more chances this solution will come into your mind if it is being asked in the interview. So that's it. That's the end of the video, and thank you. You can also try this question.